Welcome to Twain's Tales, Packard Middle School's first drama club production. We're very excited tonight. Thank you for joining us here. I hope you're enjoying this lovely air conditioning. I want to first thank all those parents who have read lines with their kids and helped them memorize them for the past, 8 months we started. So I know it's been a long process, but they've really worked hard and pulled it out in the end. They really focused themselves this week. There's one slight change in the program. That for the scene, Is She Living or Is She Dead, the part of Smith is being played by Alexis Barros. So please note that change. I want to thank Mr. Bonato for all his help. He's in the back there with us this evening. Mr. Zimmerman is helping me out backstage, Mr. Valero at front of house, so I couldn't have done it with all the help that I've gotten from everybody. Mr. DeBose at the 11th hour today added some signage to our general store, so that was a great help too. Just a couple things. Please remember cell phones off. It is a live performance. The acoustics in here are incredible. And during dress rehearsal, one of the kids' phones was in the audience and it went off and it reverberated like crazy. So please turn them off. Also, any small children, if there are any issues, please feel free to vacate with them. We ask that you please, the show runs about 65 minutes, no intermission. So we would really, I would like people, prefer that people not in and out. It is very distracting to the actors on stage, and I don't want to break them and give them the best opportunity they can to have a great performance. So welcome to the 1890s and enjoy Twain's Tales.
Good day, I'm Otis Holloway, proprietor of the finest general store west of the Mississippi River. You guys do know what a general store was, don't you? Well, they were bigger than your Quick Checks, but smaller than ShopRites. We sold everything from hardware to hats. And it was a general store like this one where friends would gather to swap a tale or two.
Funny thing about them tall tales, the more they got told, the taller they got. I'm Florence Warren. I print the town's only newspaper. Comes out once a week. When folks don't read the newspaper, they hear sitting around this here general store.
Most of the news from the outside world comes from folks like me, Tom Brady, navigate up and down the Mississippi. I'm a good listener, you see, so naturally I hear things along the way. The gossip? The information that I hear, why I pass along to my dear friends of the general store.
Helen, Anna Riley, newspaper reporter for the Bugle. I gather all the news that's fixed print and some that ain't. Most of what I hear around the general store never gets in the paper. Oh, not that it's dirty or anything. It's just that most folks who never believe all the fibbing that goes on here.
Well, here we are. I'm Virginia Holloway. Otis's wife, co-owner of the store, the town's dressmaker, and protector of the truth. In other words, I keep these here born liars honest.
It was on the porch of a general store like this one where young Sam Clemens first heard folks telling stories and might have been inspired to write a few of his own.
All them tales we're about to tell y'all today were written by Sam. You folks do know who Sam is, don't you?
Of course they know who Sam is. Samuel Langhorne Clemens, Sam to his friends, and Mark Twain to the rest of the world.
Who's Mark Twain?
Sam.
Sam Clemens?
That's right. Sam Clemens is Mark Twain.
I don't get it.
Anna, for an educated gal, you sure are. Mark Twain is a pen name. See, some feathers put their names under pen names.
Wow.
Why? I don't know why. They just do is all.
Sorry. Maybe I should get me a pen name. Being I'm a newspaper writer and all. Well, where did he get the name Mark Twain anyway?
Sam was a riverboat pilot.
Just like you, Tom.
That's right. And Mark Twain is what we riverboat pilots call a signal when the river is 2 fathoms deep.
Kind of like Sam's insight into human nature. Deep.
You know, I just thought of something. Each of us has an occupation that was once pursued by Mark Twain.
That's right, he did own a general store, and he was...
A printer.
A riverboat pilot and a newspaper reporter.
Hey, just not a thing.
Yeah, better than that.
And we all know he made real fine dresses.
He did not.
No, Anna, we were only funning.
I knew that.
Mark Twain was raised in Hannibal, Missouri. His first story was published in 1865, which spanned short stories, essays, and novels written by our friend Sam Clemens. Now, if y'all excuse me, I got a pot of coffee on the stove I need to take care of. Anna? Anna, darling, do you want coffee or not?
No, thank you, ma'am.
Anna, what on earth are you doing back there?
I thought I saw me a frog hopping around back these crates. Down in my kitchen.
And what would you do with this frog, Anna, after you had gone and caught him?
I figured I'd go fishing is all. Probably not the best kind of bait, Jenny. Everybody knows that.
Anna, didn't your mama ever tell you to get warts on handling frogs?
Yeah, but I never believed Mama either.
You know, Anna's frogs so far, they put me in mind of a story to tell y'all while I'm waiting on my coffee to cool. That is, if anybody be interested.
Go to it, Florence. Maybe the flapping of your lips will create a breeze.
Yeah, Florence, this episode needs a killer.
Well, straight off, I gotta tell y'all that this here story is the gospel truth.
Hush.
Well, you remember when I was out in California a few years back?
Oh yeah, I remember that. You were gonna make your fortune prospecting.
Yeah, and as I heard it, you never found nothing.
That aside, while I was out there, a friend of mine from back east wrote me a letter, asking me to call upon a good friend of his by the name of Sarah Wheeler. She wanted me to inquire about a good friend of his by the name of Reverend Leonidas W. Smiley.
Strange thing.
Well, I figured Reverend Leonidas W. Smiley was a myth, and my friend never knew such a person. That she figured I'd ask Wheeler about him, or demand all Miss Wheeler of the infamous James Smiley, and she'd tell me some long, exasperating reminiscence, totally useless to me. If that was a design, it's
I thought this was a story about frogs, Florence.
patience, Anna. I'll get to the part about them frogs. I promise. Miss Wheeler?
That's me. What can I do for you, young gal?
Well, a friend of mine told me if I was ever walking through the mighty town of Angel, then I should look you up and ask about Reverend Leonidas W. Smiley. And sees that Reverend Leonidas W. Smiley was a young minister of the gospel here. My friend was interested in anything you cared about him. Set a spell, missus, and I'll see if I can recollect him. Reverend Leonidas W. Reverend...
Well, I do recollect the young gal here once by the name of Jane Smiley, in the winter of '49, or maybe it was the spring of '50. I don't recollect exactly.
No, my friend was very specific. Reverend Leonidas.
What makes me think it was one or the other is because I remember the big flu more finished when she first come to camp.
I really don't see what this has to do with anything, Miss Wheeler.
She had the fever.
Miss Smiley, was it?
In a way, she had a bad case of gambling sickness. Old Jane would place a bet on almost anything. She loved the action, and it didn't matter much to her what side she took either.
You see them two birds sitting on the white fence over yonder? Looks like a couple pigeons. That could be, partner. Really, even money, but my birds. Come on the right. We're the first to fly off that wire. Oh, I know if I can set that bet. Okay, same bet, but I'll take the right on the left.
Didn't seem to matter much as long as she got that. And she was lucky. Uncommon lucky. She almost always came out a winner.
Mrs. Walker, I understand that your husband is very sick.
Yes, I'm afraid the person's very ill, but he's doing considerably better. Thank the Lord for his infinite mercy. He'll get well yet with the help of Providence.
Well, I'll risk $2.50 he going anyway.
And I'll be darned if Carson didn't take a turn for the worse and passed on to his great rewards.
She got there, Jane.
I catch myself here a frog. I figure I'll educate him.
And for 3 months, Smiley sat in her backyard and learned that frog to jump.
I never seen a frog jump that far before. I've never seen anything like it in all my born days.
All that frog needed was the education to outjump any frog in Calaveras County.
You got a name, Jane?
Dana Webster. I reckon that's what I'll call him. And I'll stand on Dana Webster here against any frog who jump it in a jumping contest.
When it comes to fair and square jumping on a dead level, he could get over more ground in one straddle than any animal of this breed you've ever seen. He beat all comers.
Come on, Daniel. Let's go downtown and wait for the next fit to come our way.
Then one day, a stranger came into camp.
What have you got in that box?
It might be a parrot, or it might be a canary, but it ain't. It's only a little old frog.
So it is. Well, what's he good for?
He's good enough for one thing. He can outjump any frog in Calaveras County.
Well, I really don't see no points about that frog's better than any other frog.
and maybe you don't. Maybe you understand frogs, and maybe you don't understand them. Maybe you're an amateur, as it were. Anyway, I've got my opinion, and I'm willing to press $40 that Dana Webster here can out-jump any frog in the jumping contest.
Well, I'm only a stranger here, and I ain't got no frog. But if I had a frog, I bet you.
That's all right, that's all right. If you'll just hold my frog here for a minute, I'll go catch one.
Here's my $40.
And here's mine.
So Smiley went off, and the stranger sat there for a good while, thinking and thinking to herself. Finally, she got the idea of what to do.
Come here, frog. I got me an idea how to win this here jumping contest. I was never much one for rifles, but I knew this here box of birdshot would do me some good ones. Now come here, and I'll fill you up to the chin. If the frogs got it, but right up to the brim. Now I sure don't want Jane to feel how heavy I am, so sit you down here on the side.
Found you good, miss.
Just so you don't accuse me of cheating, why don't you set my frog down there next to your own?
Sounds fair enough. Now, on my count, 1, 2, 3, get. We'll each give a frog a touch.
Let her rip.
1, 2, 3, get. I don't understand. What can make that frog through the contest?
Well, like I said, I don't see no points how that frog is better than any other frog.
He's never done that before. He seems to look mighty baggy somehow, though. Well, play my cats if he don't weigh 5 pounds.
So old Smiley turned Dana Webster upside down, and he belched out a double handful of ammunition.
Now, how'd you get yourself all full of ammunition? Wait a minute. I think that stranger done twiddle me. Hey, miss!
Well, I never saw anyone madder than Smiley was chasing after that low-life teen stranger, but she never catched him. Oh, and by the way, if the whole truth be known, that frog she fetched for the stranger was the oldest and lamest frog Jane could find. Well, I do believe it was so old that the garden plague Moses had rained down on old Pharaoh. But I reckon the moral is that even the lamest of frogs will jump further than one limit over 2 handfuls of buckshot. Or maybe it's that you can't cheat an honest man. Now, let me tell you what happened then.
Now, I don't think that continuation of the history of the enterprise and backbone of James Smiley will be likely to afford me much information concerning Reverend Leonidas W. Smiley. And so,
Well, this here Smiley had a yellow one-eyed cap that didn't have no tail, only just a short stump like a banana, and
lacking both the time and the inclination, I took my leave. Where are you off to now?
Well, that frog I spotted looked pretty good. And I figured if it didn't get off the mission, maybe I could enter some jumping contest and...
Anna, did the story teach you anything?
Well, it was a great yarn, Torrance. But what did that mean, is it? You can't cheat an honest man? They was both cheats.
I don't believe a word of it, Florence, but it sure was entertaining.
True story, Tom, from beginning to end.
Florence, you're gonna answer my question.
Anna, it's simple, darling. If old Smiley were honest, he would let the stranger pick his own frog.
Yeah, and you would have held on to the great Daniel Webster, and the stranger wouldn't have been able to fill it off with quail ammo.
So you think you got it now, Anna?
You mean that the only reason that Smiley picked the stranger's frog was to cheat him and...
That's right, Anna. The stranger was better at cheating than Smiley was.
Well, I'll be.
No, Anna, you're supposed to be a grown-up.
Well, of course I can grow to Otis. Been one for some time.
Maybe. But chasing frogs, Anna, you remind me of a young boy I once knew named Tom.
Hey, that's your name, ain't it?
That's right, Anna. That's my name, too. But Tom was quite a mischievous boy. We had frogs, snakes, and even day rabbits.
Is this story about you when you was a youngin'?
Anna, the story that I am trying to tell ain't got nothing to do with me.
Well, you gotta admit, Tom, it's a mighty curious coincidence.
Could I help it if this kid and I have the same name?
Tom can't help it, Florence.
Thank you, Virginia. May I go on?
Of course. We can't wait to hear more about your childhood.
Go on, Tom. Don't pay her any mind.
As I was saying, Tom was always getting into scrapes. And for your information, I was virtually a perfect child. You can even ask my mother if you like. Well, it seems that one Friday night, Tom got into a scuffle with a newsman. And when Aunt Polly, that was Tom's guardian, got sight of the state of his clothes, well, heck broke loose.
My goodness, young man, just look at you! What in the name of
So bright and early, old Tom found himself on the street with a big bucket of whitewash and a long-handled brush. So he surveyed the fence.
30 yards of bull fence. 30 yards of bull fence. 9 feet high. Lordy, my sure does seem hard this morning. Whitewashing on a Saturday? This sure does put a damper on my plans for the evening. Won't be long now before the rest of the boys come around here. Free as birds, enjoying that day off.
You are a real funny kid, Tom.
Anna, I just ain't gonna pay you no mind, no how. So you might as well just sit down and listen to the story. And then Tom got an idea.
You know, this is an awful big job. All I need to do is hire me some helpers. Ain't that sad? All my worldly wealth amounts to nothing. Bits of marbles and trash. Enough to buy no more than half an hour's worth of pure freedom.
And then, at this dark and hopeless moment, an inspiration burst upon him. Like the hand of the almighty providence reaching down from the clouds, his mind was filled with nothing more than a great magnificent inspiration.
Ding, ding, ding. Woof, ding, ding, ding. Stop here, sir. Ting-a-ling-ling. Shipper up the back. Center outside, turn over slow. Get on the headline. Lively now. Done with the engine, sir. Dizz, dizz, dizz. Hey there, old chap. You're up a stump. Got the work, eh?
Work? Oh, what do you call work?
Why, ain't that work?
Maybe it is and maybe it ain't. All I know is it suits me.
Come on now. You don't mean to let you like it.
Like it? Well, why don't I like it? Does a boy get a chance to whitewash every day?
Say, Tom, let me whitewash a little.
No, Ben, now. I reckon that would hardly do. You see, Aunt Polly's awful particular about this fence right here in the front. If it was the back fence, she wouldn't mind so much, but she's awful particular about this fence right here on the street. I reckon there ain't one more than 1,000. No, 2,000. And can do it the way it's got to be done.
Come on, let me try. I'd let you if it was me, Tom.
Ben, I'd like to. Honest, Injun. Well, my brother said he wanted to do it, but she won't let him. Now, don't you see how I'm fixed? If you was to touch this fence and anything was to happen to it...
Come on, I'll give you a core of my apple.
No, Ben, no, don't. I'm afraid.
Fine, all that's left.
So Tom stopped back in the shade and waited for more boys who helped along every little while. They came to jeer, but remained to whitewash. By the time Ben had tired, Tom had traded the next chance for a kite, and the chance after that for a dead rat on a string. And so it went by, hour after hour. In the middle of the afternoon, he was visited by his best friend, Huckleberry Finn.
Yes, that's
It's a thing of beauty, ain't it, Huck?
I expect it is. How'd you get all this done?
Ingenuity.
Ingenue?
Ingenuity. Means using your head instead of your back.
I won't for that.
Sure. Thing of beauty. Green coats.
How much did you pay them?
Nothing. They pay me. That's ingenuity.
Tom, we're all on a whitewash. Oh, hey, Huck, you come to help?
Right off then. I'm using my ingenuity.
Right. Well, me and the boys just wanted to thank you for letting us help you.
You tell them fellas it's my pleasure, Ben. If I had a lot of whitewash, I would have been all the boys in the village.
Going fishing?
Gotta ask Aunt Polly first. Be back in a jiffy.
1 o'clock? I'm sure that double turn was running hours ago when the job barely started.
Aunt Polly, may I have to go and pay now?
What? Already? How much have you done?
Why, it's all done, Aunt Polly.
Tom, don't lie to me. You know I can't bear it.
I ain't Aunt Polly, it is all done.
Why? It is all done.
3 coats.
Tom, there's no getting around it. You can work and give a mind to.
Thank you, Aunt Polly.
But it's a power of self to give a mind to, I'm bound to say. Well, run along. Don't play. Why don't you get back sometime during this week or find another job for you to do next Saturday?
Of course, Aunt Polly.
Fishing?
Yup. You know, I learned a great law of human nature today. In order to make a boy want a thing, all necessary to make that thing hard to get.
And young Tom went merrily off, concerned that he would return by supper, not willing to give up another holiday, such a fine...
Hold on, folks. I can tell you with great certainty that this is not the story of Tom's misspent youth.
I've been telling them all along, Otis. I'm glad that somebody finally realized that.
It ain't Tom's story because it ain't Tom's story. It's Tom's story.
Oh, I am so confused.
I'm afraid you're not alone this time, Anna. Do you want to explain that so as the simple folk can understand it, dear?
I was just reading that last night in a book.
Gee, I didn't know you wrote a book, Tom.
He didn't. The book is called The Adventures of Tom Sawyer, and it was written by Mark Twain, better known to all of us as Sam Clemens.
Hey, I never said it was original.
You never said it was Sam's either.
Well, I knew that it couldn't have been Sam's story. Tom's story. At least, halfway through it anyways.
How'd you figure that, Thorn?
Simple. That kid was a heck of a lot smarter than Tom is now. Tom could have very well gotten dumber if he's gotten older, couldn't he?
Just a minute here.
You sit. You back up there. How's the book, Otis?
Let me tell you, if you like that, you're gonna love the rest of the story.
I could tell you more a few of those adventures if you like.
No, thank you. I'd like the pleasure of reading Sam's story myself. Now, if you'd like to tell us the story of your childhood, we'd all listen to that. Change a page from the humor of Tom Sawyer.
Come on, Anna. Let's you and I finish this game of checkers we got started here. It's your move. Ain't you gonna sit down?
No need.
What does that mean? No need.
There's no need. Because the game is finished. Sorry, Tom.
Maybe I was wrong. Maybe Tom has gotten dumber as he's gotten older. And never used to be my games of chance before.
Now. Checkers ain't exactly a game of skill. Now, is it? No, it's a game of science and love.
Thorn, checkers ain't a game of chance. So it must be scientific. And as you just observed, I play the game very well.
Guess that figures that makes you a scientist, Anna.
Imagine me, a scientist.
Well, what do you think, Otis? You played a few games of checkers in your day. What do you figure it is? Luck or science?
Science versus luck. Well, I don't know about checkers, but I could tell you all about how Mayor Dutton in Lexington, Kentucky settled that question with a game known as 7-Up. See, the law was very strict about what was termed games of chance.
Come in, Mr. Nurse. Thank you for coming.
Good to see you again, Magda.
I'll tell you what I do. I thought that's my brother's office and we're from 7-Up. It's a hard game. And your granddad's got a trip like it. So I want to spend this couple of what happens up.
Well, Meg, in particular, I study up on this.
Betty, would you come in here, please? Yes, Miss Sturgis?
The longer I study this piece, the bleaker it looks. Please see I'm going to use this one.
I think it's a shame that this case is due tomorrow after election. I'm not clear, Miss Sturgis.
Seems that even the public says that's about that. They're saying things like, isn't it a shame about old Jane Sturgis? Seems like Ron has made her gone. How'd that girl up with communication can't possibly win? Yep, sure does look like my first loser, Betty.
Those two boys caught red-handed on the other chance. You can.
But that's it. Your Honor, the defense really admits that these boys were caught red-handed playing the game 7-Up and indeed betting cash money on top.
Very well, Mrs. Sturgis. Do you wish to answer plead guilty on behalf of the clients?
On the contrary, Your Honor, my client intends to prove that beyond a shadow of doubt that game 7-Up is not a game of chance at all.
You're very amusing, Mrs. Sturgis, but this is a grave matter and this court will not allow you to make a joke.
I can assure Your Honor that that is not my intention.
set apart in the statute books of Kentucky as being a game of not chance, but of science, and therefore not punishable under law. Now, if you know like to play checkers for the next 12 hours, we may be able to settle that question. We're really close. We have better ways to spend our time, right?
Yeah.
Emma, how about a rematch?
Not right now, Tom. I'd be proud to later on.
You don't really mean that, do you?
Of course I do. Why would I make something up like that?
Because you want to quit while you're ahead. I'm pretty sure that everyone can see that.
That ain't true. I said to play later on, and I meant it.
She said she'd play you later, Tom.
Otis, you know that she's lying. Never met anyone who stressed the God's honest truth any more than Anna Riley. But that gal makes up half of the stories she writes in the newspaper. Did you know that?
Shame on you, Tom! Right on Google's masthead, it says the whole unguarded truth. And them's words that I live by most of the time.
Aha!
Well, I do take a veteran license now and again.
License now and Tilly. You ain't a writer, you're a reporter. You're supposed to report the facts, period.
Well, here's the fact that I like to report. The cheap cargo you carry on your riverboat is figs and gossip. You carry your so-called news up and down the Mississippi like so much manure.
You know, I've heard just about enough out of both of you. Grown adults acting like a couple of kids. Now, I do believe that you two you're just about equal when it comes to stretching the truth. So why don't I tell you a little story that I'm hoping will teach y'all an important lesson.
I will be all ears, Virginia. But I'd keep an eye on Anna if I were you. She made no salt for the women part.
Lord, let us be thankful for the fools. But for them, the rest of us cannot succeed.
Thank you, Miss Jenny. That's real nice of you to stand up to me like that.
Why, it seems that a few years before the start of the Civil War, Memphis, Tennessee was the great tobacco shipping center. The loading docks required a large number of clerks who were part of the time very busy and part of the time bored silly. So these gals amused themselves during the slow times by playing practical jokes on a lady named Edith Jackson.
What poor Edith do to deserve such treatment?
Not a thing. She was just a nice gal who believed whatever her friends told her.
Goodness, look at the gravy stain on your shirt.
Oh, now your shoes untied. Thanks, Fairchild.
Goodness, Fairchild, that was good. Boy, this powder so good.
Yeah, you know they expect me shipments until tomorrow. These will be stuck out here for all afternoon.
Yep, I believe this calls for a major cracking short on you. Ooh, here's your
business presses on. People are waiting. You thank Mr. Fairchild when you see him. I thank Mr. Fairchild for his letter now. Ellie, where do you intend on seeing when you're in town?
Our reservation at the Pickville Hotel, sir.
Counselor, after I finish business here, you're going to my home for the duration of your stay. That's the least I can do for my hotel now.
And so, Edith stayed a week and never suspected that the Commodore was watching her, that she was being tested and tried. At the end of the week, the Commodore said to Edith,
I believe that I know you well. You understand my feelings about tobacco. I am expanding my business in the Memphis area. I need someone who knows my mind and is qualified to represent me in Memphis. I think you're the lady, Edith. Yes, I'm you. You're Shally High. Take a small army of assistants. Choose them yourself and carefully take no man for friendship. See, but take the man you know. Take your friends and preference instead of strangers.
upon her return to Memphis, Edith came upon the clerks, who were terrified. They were certain that she had found them out.
You stay away from me, Edith.
I didn't do it. I swear I didn't. Didn't do what?
Well,
Never mind. What have I done? You haven't done a thing.
she's not right enough to deliver the letter. I'm not going to bring it up.
You're right. She couldn't have delivered the letter. Well, here's the joke's on us. Tonight, girls will have a dinner of steak and oysters. My treat. Why so generous? Well, when I delivered the letter, Mr. Vanderbilt.
Great Scott! Did you deliver it?
And so, Edith told them the entire story of her trip and of her meeting with the Commodore. When the tale was ended, they weren't sure if they'd been found out or not. And I reckon that's just what Edith wanted.
And my success is all on you, girl. The best friends, bless your hearts, the best friends that I'll ever have. You'll all have fine jobs in Mr. Randall's company.
Edith, we
couldn't possibly accept jobs in Mr. Vanderbilt's company. No? Why on earth not?
don't know him.
That's true. We don't know her. But surely, Rachel, you know the man.
No, she doesn't.
That's right, but you said your father. Father, yes, your father knew her. Edith, we cannot accept these wonderful job offers because this whole matter was one of our practical jokes. And a fine practical joke is never played.
You knew?
Knew what? That one of your petty practical jokes found out something good? The joke that made me fortune?
Yes, that's the one.
Well, not first, certainly. If I had known, I would have never had the nerve to deliver the letter. But sometime during the week, it all became clear. Stevens and Georgia didn't meet.
She wrote the letter.
Yes, but once I heard the letter was a fraud and that I was once again the dupe of one of your petty practical jokes, I decided to put your friendship to the test. I also believe that's what Mr. Vanderbilt on you, did.
I hope you'll accept my apology.
Of course I will. I recognize you both as my honest comrades. But you would have been sure that the job would have gone to strangers had you not admitted to your wrongdoing. The friendship will be rewarded, and I will take the man I know. So please, Mr. Vanderbilt, that I have done so too. Come, let's all have a toast to the great man. And let this story be a lesson to all you jokesters.
Miss Ginny, I must confess. Do you recall missing apple pie from a few weeks ago?
Why, yes, I do. I put that pie on the window soda pool and it plumb disappeared. I have been waiting to get my hands on the rascal who stole it. You see, Florence, that's why I told the story in the first place.
Tom took it.
I did not.
I saw Florence take it, Mrs. H.
I did not, but I do think Anna helped me it though.
Enough! Take it outside!
We are outside!
Florence obviously took the pie. Don't deny it. You're right, Virginia. These kids are all born liars.
It doesn't make us bad people.
Oh, Florence, we can't help it sometimes but love y'all. Even though you are liars and halfies.
What you drawing there, Florence? I'm after the Westford Bakery.
Moving up to Robin Cakes Wholesale.
What's the matter, Florence? My pies aren't good enough for you anymore?
No. John is a little
that Twain wasn't like those famous places of Riviera. That has all the advantages of Monte Carlo and Nice, without fussing spice.
I couldn't agree with you more, my dear. Benetton is simple, quiet, unpretentious. The rest of the gaudy don't come here. Quick, catch an eye on the woman heading towards the door.
Why?
You don't know who she is?
Yes, she is a very rich house, a manufacturer from Lyons. She keeps to herself. Her name is Theophile Magna. Why such interest in her?
You see, darling, there's a beautiful Hans Christian Andersen story that I don't quite recall, but I know part of it goes like this. A young child, a boy, has a caged bird, who he loves, but forgets. The bird pours out its heart in song, but goes unheard. In time, hunger and thirst assail the poor creature, and its song grows feeble and eventually ceases. The bird died, and the boy was so overwhelmed with remorse and guilt that he called his mates, and they buried the bird with elaborate pomp and tender grief. You see, they didn't know that it is only children who starve poets to death, and then spend enough on their monuments and funerals to have kept them alive in the first place.
My darling, what a charmingly sweet story. Pray, is there a reason for your telling it?
Oh, of course, my darling. I want to tell you a curious history, one that has remained a secret between me and 3 others.
Oh, Smitty, you helped me on Twitter with a presentation. I love your cute little secrets.
Well, a long, long time ago, I was an artist.
Really? I didn't think you could count a desire.
Not that long ago, my dear, nor that messy. As a matter of fact, I was quite a talented artist. Painting. I was wandering about France, sketching, painting, when I came across 2 French women who were doing the same as I.
How delightful. A party of painters.
We were as happy as we were poor, or as poor as we were happy. Phrase it to suit yourself. Cora, Claire, and I traveled to a small place called Benton Village, where we met yet another artist.
How delightful. A 4th bridge.
My darling, if you keep interrupting me, I'll never get to the part about the secret. Now, as I was saying, the 4th artist to join our group, just as poor as ourselves, but she took us in and saved our lives. Her name was Francine Roulette.
What? Forgive me for interrupting again, darling, but you don't mean the great Francine Millet.
Great? Why, she was no greater than we were. Well, at least then. She had nothing but radishes to feed us. You see, we had many good times together, but boy, how we were poor. We starved and suffered for what seemed like 2 years, when one day,
My friends, we've come to an end. No new town will give us any more credit until our bills are paid. It's a shame. Look at all these canvases, stacks and stacks of paintings as good as anybody in Europe paints. I don't care who he is, and plenty of strangers have said the same. Unfortunately, they didn't buy it. No matter, they said it. It's true, too. Are they not of very high merit? Answer me that.
why, of course they are.
Of such great and high merit that, if an illustrious name is attached to them, it's sell at splendid prices. Isn't that so? Certainly it is. How does that help us? Very simple. We attach an illustrious name to them. Are you mad?
Insane?
You got it. Hear me out, my friends. I believe this is the only way to keep us out of the poorhouse. And furthermore, I think this is a perfectly sure way. I base my opinion upon long-established facts in human history. This project will make us rich.
She has gone insane. What do you mean, rich?
100,000 francs each. I agree. She has lost her mind. But just in case we're wrong, I want to give
world of him or her eventual demise.
It's magnificent, Claire. I've heard such speeches out their names. Will you choose? Malad.
Why, congratulations, Millette. Why, you'll become rich and famous, while the rest of us must be satisfied with just becoming rich.
When do it begin?
Immediately, we'll each take several dozens of your small pictures and go in different directions to market them.
When you see a potential well-to-do man, bait your trap carefully. Let him see you're doing a sketch, say, of his house. Then what? Reel him in.
Oh my, that's very nice indeed.
Why, I do suppose that you know that signature. Why, she has taught me well, and I do think that I know my own trade. Are you meaning to tell me that you don't recognize the signature of the great Francine Millette?
Millette? Of course I know Millette's work. I don't know what I could have been thinking of. May I buy this painting?
Ma'am, I am not a rich man, but I am not a poor one either.
I'll give you 500 francs for it.
That won't do. Nothing less than 800 francs could ever make me part with the great picture of the great Francine Millette.
Done.
800 francs? Millette would have sold it for a pork chop. Today, my darling, I wish I would have gotten that picture for 80,000 francs.
How long does this go on for?
Well, every day I would sell one painting to one person several times a day. Each time with the same bullish story. Why, I must be mad to sell a picture of the great Francine Millette, for in 3 months she will be dead. And once she dies, her artwork and paintings and sketches won't be had for love or for money.
And this plan really worked.
Like a charm, my dear. You see, Claire went over to Paris, where she made friends with some foreign news correspondents who had Millette's condition reported to England, and from there around the world. On the other hand, Cora was working on the gallery owners and art critics, and within 6 weeks, the whole art world was booming, raging, and talking about the great Francine Millette. And in 6 months, we got it.
Friends, it is time. The world will be shocked to learn of the passing of Francine Millette. She'll be carried to her grave by her 4 closest friends.
Which for?
Why, we four. Millette, you can't honestly think that we can carry that coffin by ourselves. Why, it's loaded with stones.
We'll disguise you as a distant relative of Milette's.
And with that, we laid the great Francine Millette to rest.
Absolutely astonishing, darling.
Why, we made so much money that we didn't know what to do with it. There is a man somewhere in Paris that owns 70 of Millette's paintings. He paid us 2 million francs for them. And as for the bushels of sketches and studies that Millette shoveled up during our time on the road, why, you'll be astonished to know what they would go for nowadays.
My dear, what a perfectly wonderful history. Whatever became of Millette?
Can you keep a secret, my dear?
Darling, my lips are sealed and my ears are wide open.
Do you remember that woman that I pointed your attention to a while back?
Theophile Magnan.
Well, I told her that was an awful name to choose, but she thought it gave her a sense of propriety. That was the great Francine Millette. Great Scott! Why, of course. For the first time, they didn't have to starve a great genius away, nor did to pocket the rewards that should have belonged to them in the first place. This songbird wasn't allowed to go unheard and then be paid with the pompous pomp of a bitter funeral. We made sure of that.
Long bathroom. Well, I think I figured out Florence's sudden interest in drawing. Let me see what you've been working on all day.
Wow. I'm so excited. See, this is Sam.
Oh my gosh. promise of Sam's tale was that letting the others were all talented artists yet to be recognized.
Just how I feel. Unrecognized.
The operative word, Florence, is talented. You don't need to be an art critic to recognize that drawing stinks.
Well, I'm sure I could fix it up some.
You see, Florence, the trouble with washing garbage, once you're done, you still got garbage.
Stick to Britain, Florence. You're really good at it.
Well, I keep breaking my thumb on pencil anyway.
You know, all this talking about going to France and such is giving me a hankering to go rambling about myself.
You don't say, Tom.
Yep, if it was up to me, you know what I would do?
What?
I'd follow the old Big Clementine all the way to New Orleans, turn her left, and head across the pond to Europe.
Sounds exciting, Tom.
Yeah, but I'm afraid that old powder wheel is only rigged for river travel.
Details don't wake me while I'm dreaming.
You know, this puts me in mind of young fellow named Alfred Parrish. He too had the grand dream to go traveling in Europe. He was a young man on a break who had gotten as far as Berlin.
Hey, that's in Germany, ain't it?
Last time I looked, Florence, that's where they was keeping it. Alfred was in the Frederickstrasse, one of those great big beer halls they have over there, and
Wait, are you telling the story of the belated Russian passport?
that's the one.
You can't do that. Not only with us doing the telling.
Yeah, we're gonna need some help.
What about these here folks?
A bit unusual, ain't it?
You know, they've been listening to us telling tales all day. It's about time they contributed, don't you think? How about it, folks? Can we get your help telling this here story? It looks to me like we got all the help we can use right here, Otis.
Sure does. Well, since this story takes place in Europe, since this story takes place over yonder in Europe,
Germany, Russia.
in Germany and Russia, that's right. Those are countries over yonder in Europe.
Hey, no, that Otis. We need to all learn some German and Russian words and repeat them to us whenever we ask you a question. Here's the German. Nein. That means no.
Let's try it, folks.
Nein.
Extra good. Now for the Russian. Say, niet.
Yes.
Does that mean no? You, Otis?
Oh, you're too quick for me, Anna. I do believe we're ready.
Welcome to the Frederickstrasse. It's a big hall, that's why we need all of you to be patrons. And remember, whenever you ask a question, the answer is always aye. Great. Parrish has come for a farewell of some other young classmates.
But why would you cut your tip short, old boy?
Yes, Alfred, you're only halfway through.
Looks like insanity, Parrish. Tell us why.
Chip. Look, it's simple. I'm homesick. I've never been away from home before, and each day I get more and more lonesome.
But surely you could finish the trip.
They used to call me Miss Nancy when I was a small child. Timid and all that. I guess that's still true. I can't stand going out on my own, so I guess I'm going.
At least in St. Petersburg before you turn back, old man.
It was my dearest dream. Please, say no more. I can't stand out against anybody's persuasion. But I simply cannot go alone.
Perhaps some of your German friends like to go to me.
Would anybody like to go Russia with my friends?
You see, I am doomed. Besides, here's my protection against a change of mind. I've bought a ticket and sleeper for Paris. I leave tonight. Drink up, boys. This one is on me. This one is for home.
Well, good luck, Alfred. Yes, we'll see you back in New Haven, old boy.
Goodbye, my friends. I am going to stay here until my train leaves.
But really, you must. It would be a great mistake that you will always regret.
I beg your pardon.
So it was pie, you see, I heard it all. It troubles me that you want to cut your trip short when you really want to see St. Petersburg.
I'm afraid that is quite impossible.
A beautiful city. 10 years ago, as anybody here, they all know me. Major Jackson, the very dogs know me. You must go.
Oh, yes. You are right. I must go. But I can't. If I were to go, I should die of loneliness.
Loneliness? But how? I'm coming with you.
Oh my. Is this a trap, I wonder? Is this stranger a con man? Why, this interest in an unknown subject, I had better ask my German friends. What do you think? Should I go with this man to Russia?
Nein.
Perhaps you're right. But look at his beaming face. I wish I could get out of this gracefully. What should I tell him?
Nein.
I couldn't tell him that. It would hurt his feelings. Thanks for your help. I'm sorry, sir, but I couldn't pick you such an inconvenience.
Inconvenience? Nonsense, my boy. I'm going tonight anyway. Come, we'll take this thing together at 9.
Oh, well that is impossible then. Here, look at these. I am booked through to Paris and I couldn't get these tickets and baggage coupons shaped for St. Petersburg. And I can't afford to spend the money for a new ticket because all I've got is 500 mark banknote.
Change of tickets for me. Everyone knows me. But I might need a little extra to pay for the tickets, maybe.
Now what? Should I trust a stranger with all the money that I have in the world?
No.
You may be right this time.
Be back in a flash, my boy.
Major! Oh, Major! Gone. But he'll be back, don't you think?
Nein.
I can't tell you what confidence means. So what do I do now, my fancy beautiful friends? You may know the answer.
Nein.
Why doesn't that surprise me? Riddle me this. How does the German rail service work? Will that man be able to change my tickets?
Nein.
Of course he won't. But would he throw the tickets away?
Nein.
No, he'd go to the station to try to sell them to someone at half price. I have to go after him. But that last round of beer was at my expense. Sure wish I hadn't given her all my time. I hate to do this, but I have to run out on the bill. You!
Alfred, you expect me to start, maybe?
Well, no. I thought... Never mind that. What took you so long? You didn't leave me any money to pay my bill.
We were at the ticket office, and I wouldn't make the exchange because it was irregular or something, so I had to hunt up my old friend, the station master.
So, where are my tickets?
Come down, my boy. Everything is under control. Your luggage is three-way, three-check, your ticket, and sleeper check. Now head in for the rail station. I'll meet you there.
Wait, where are you going now?
The Russian consulate. Have your papers approved, my boy.
I must return to the Frederick Tracy first and so on.
No time for that, lad. I'll swear it the next time I'm in Berlin. Now then, if you'll mind sending this paper as quickly as...
I know, Alfred. The council won't be back from work.
Thunder. Oh, well, look here. I'm Major Jackson. He knows me. Everyone knows me. Tell Major Jackson after you.
That would be desperately and fatally impossible.
Well, here are the fees. Have advised in the morning and send it along by mail.
Fine, but you'll need it to the frontier by 24 hours. There are no accommodations there for so long a wait.
Who's going to wait? Not I.
Surely, sir, you do not wish it sent to St. Petersburg.
And why not?
With its owner heading with the frontier 25 miles away, it surely wouldn't do him any good under those circumstances.
Who said he was going to do any terrorism?
They'll stop him at the frontier if he has no passport.
Indeed, they won't. The chief inspector knows me. Everybody knows me.
But, sir, the risks are very serious. 10 years in Siberia for being in Russia without a passport.
Well, that's all right. Label her St. Petersburg and let her sail. I'll make it red as nails.
All right, give yourselves a hand. Y'all be good with the German. Now our story moves to the Russian frontier. Can I get about 10 volunteers? Oh, and Stuart, why don't you help me out?
Of course.
Let's see.
Can't see anything.
Let's see. You, sir? How about you, manager?
No, they
Right up there.
You, sir, with you. The one that looks like a loser. Please come here. Wait this way.
Right this way. Right this way.
1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. The one with the floofy hair.
Someone raise their hand in the back. I can't Red. That looks about right. Come on, dear. Oh, you come right up here and form a line. Your Russians waiting in line at the frontier to get to the country. Now remember, we're in Russia, so the second word we learned, whenever you ask a question, the answer is always
Yes.
Great. On this.
You know, I don't remember you bringing my tickets away from the concert.
No, it's
But
coming
you
by,
didn't you?
coming by mail.
Coming by mail? They surely aren't going to let me in with a passport. How could you do such a thing?
Nothing to worry about, my boy.
Everybody knows me. No, everybody knows you. I'm pretty sure that everyone knows me. Yes, I've heard that once or twice before.
But the chief inspector knows me. Oh, excuse me, pardon me. I must say the new chief inspector. He knows me.
You know, I must be the dumbest young man in the history of this university.
Damnation.
How could I allow myself to be talked into this insane charade?
Damnation, it's a new inspector. I don't know him.
Oh, well, I'm not.
Don't worry, laddie. The sub-inspector is as nearsighted as a post. I'll go through, get my passport chopped, pass it along by you. You just wait by the fence. You'll make it.
Your description and mine don't match whatsoever.
Well, that's all right. Difference between 51 and 19. Entirely imperceptible to that post.
Okay.
All right. Let's give our volunteers a nice round of applause. You can all go back. The major imperatives managed to get through the border check. However, there are difficulties that have only just begun. At the hotel in St. Petersburg, the registrar wanted to see Parrish's passport.
It's all right. You know me. Set him down. I'll be responsible for the young man.
I wish I could accommodate you, but I have no choice. I cannot allow him to stay in a hotel without a passport.
Oh, you know me. Everyone does. Let him stay one night. I'll give you my word.
It's quite impossible. In fact, we may both be in trouble if we turn around and use the general as a secret police.
I didn't see how things could get worse until now.
Good. Now we'll get things straight. Alexandra, good to see you again. Alfred, this is my chum, Alexander Marchenko, Secretary of the Secret Police. How are you, my friend?
I've had an investigation in you, Major. We're trying to do what you Americans call warm tea.
Hot water.
Yes, hot water. Big coffee. I marvel that they should have done such the same thing as bringing him into the country without a passport, leaving him orderless in the ocean pay.
Up the river without a paddle.
I stand correct. Again, Major, how stupid. Because if you're stupid, if your chance will be spent the next 10 years or 7 years, but you Americans think what? That it's no big deal? Major, do you still say that 10 years is no big deal? Catch me, Major.
Good. Play 6 for all it's worth. Alexander, the poor boy is sick, and his passport will arrive within 24 hours.
Because a rabbit. Hey, Major, did I say that word correctly? Thick as a rabbit, just 24 hours? Very well. For friendship's sake, I give you exactly 24 hours. If the passport is not here, then no big deal. Just decide to enter the public park.
You're most kind, Alexander.
Until tomorrow, my friend.
The next night, they waited for the post, but discovered that the mail train would arrive 3 hours past their deadline.
You will tell my mother what has happened to her beloved son, am I right?
Well, that's all right, boy. I had this card up my sleeve the whole time. The American ambassador and I are chums. The embassy will simply issue a new passport, and yeah, our troubles are at an end, if we really ever had any. The madness ambassador is the whole story, beginning to end.
I see your problem, Major, but what can I do?
Why, hanging me with a new passport.
It's simply impossible. 3 days ago, you hadn't even heard of him. There's no way in the world to identify him.
Mrs. Ambassador, I haven't slept in 24 hours. I may not look like my beautiful self, but I am still identifiable as Alfred Parrish.
Where are you from?
Bridgeport, Connecticut, but I was born in New Haven.
When you lived in New Haven, what street did you live on?
2 Parker Street.
What kind of house was it?
Brick. 2-story.
Flush with the sidewalk?
No, small yard in front.
What did you see when you went to the front door?
Nothing really, just a narrow hall, door at the end of it, and doorwater.
Did you have a nickname among your playmates?
Well, they used to call me Miss Nancy.
Any ornaments in your dining room?
No,
None? None at all?
no.
Not even a picture?
Why, there was a large painting, but you said ornament.
What did your father think of it?
I can't tell you that.
Out with it. There's no taboo. Home, liberty, or Siberia. Death depend upon your answer.
Well, you're a minute from the deadline.
He's a clergyman and
No matter. Out with it, or...
he said it was the hellfire's nightmare he had ever seen.
See! I identify you. I lived in that house, and I painted the picture myself.
No wonder he thought it was so bad.
I think you're going to get grand, you know? All we have to do is thank God that we gave us artists when we did.
No.
That was an exciting story, Virginia.
Yeah, I always wanted to see them places over in Europe. And after hearing that story, I make sure I had my papers in order and I had plenty of money to last me the whole entire trip.
Florence, Parrish found a friend. And a man who has friends.
Is a wealthy man.
Ooh, that be the Clementine getting ready to shove off. I best be getting back to the dock, otherwise they'll be heading downstream without me.
They can't go without you at the wheel. Can they, Tom?
No, Anna, it's only a figure of speech. They sound that whistle to get my attention.
Right, did it work?
Oh yeah, I nearly forgot what I come for. You got my supplies ready, Otis?
Right inside. Be back in a jiffy.
And all this time, I thought you'd come by for a cup of my coffee and a friendly smile.
That isn't costing the top of the pie, Miss Judy.
You know, I best be moving along here too. You know, I was just thinking, some fine young person ought to open one of them French chassis over here, so then we wouldn't have to go over to Europe. And then we'd have somewhere to spot the tail or two over at night.
Someplace to clench your first, Florence?
You know I would never indulge in any spirits of any kind. But I do like a good pretzel. And it's just my nature to get some work done during the day. You know, no one pays me to be jawing with you guys all day.
Well, Florence, I'll be seeing you. You know what? Print me a newspaper with some good news in it for a change.
I have to talk to Anna about that one. Fine, Steve.
Glad to hear.
Nice seeing y'all.
Here are your supplies, Tom.
Thanks, Otis. Put it on my tab, right, Otis? I'll start on it when I come back from my fraternity training.
What would I do if I got some true playing customers around here?
Well, you know I'm good for it.
I was just kidding. What about you, Anna? You got me going?
Nope. I'm as free as a bird.
Oh, good. You can help me out then.
Sure, Miss Jenny. What you need?
Well, you see, I'm making a dress for Pearl Neely, and you're just about her size. I want you to model just for me. I'll get it. Be right back. Oh, boy. Just remember, store needs investigated. Bye. You explain to Miss Jenny, Otis.
Sure will, Anna.
Is she gone?
Like a deer during hunting season.
And what would you have done if she hadn't turned her white tail and flat, Virginia?
Oh, I expect that every good actress must utilize a proper tune. That is generally the only way I can ever get rid of her.
You know, there just might be a good story. The dressmaker's mom.
Work on it for the next time you're in town, Bob.
Sure would pass the time between ports, don't you think? Be seeing you.
Be seeing you, Tom.
Smooth sailing, Tommy.
Sure gives a man a warm feeling though he has such great friends.
Yep, friends who want nothing more in life than to share their stories with you.
Do you think we'd have more customers if we had less friends?
Maybe. But life sure would be a whole lot